What's going on, YouTube? Welcome in. Today we got a beautiful build for you. Today we're finally building a Jonsbo case, the Jonsbo D4 with the mesh and the LCD screen up front. We're starting off with a beautiful 9800X3D X870 Tomahawk, which is our tried and true #1 selling motherboard right now on the AM5 platform, going over from MSI. We have 6 terabytes of storage in today's system, coming in first off with our Kingston KC3000 for the primary 2 terabyte NVMe drive, and then we got a Kingston NV3 4 terabyte weighing down in the secondary slot. We've got 64 gigs of RAM with 6000 CL30 timings coming over from Kingston and the Fury RGB RAM as well. We'll be cooling it with the Montech HyperFlow 360, which is one of our favorite budget entry-level coolers. And then for the graphics card today, we have a smaller form factor card because we have a little bit of a tight space in this little Jonsbo D4, which is going to be the Zotac 5070 Ti Core Solid SFF model. So absolutely beautiful system. Let us know down below in the comments. Make sure the like button helps us with the algorithm. Make sure that subscribe button as well if you want to see more beautiful PCs like this end up over your YouTube feed. You want to catch us live, unedited, raw like it is right now as I butcher this extremely long intro. You join us any Monday, Wednesday, or Friday over our Twitch channel or our TikTok channel at 10 a.m. Eastern. We hope to see you soon. All right, guys, let's go over to the build station. I'm going to get mic'd up. I'm going to send everything over there right now. So we're getting our parts down off the top. Knock over it and elbow that. Ryan, this could be yours. This could be your build today. I believe this is actually it's a customer build, so it's probably most likely your build today. All right, let's get right into a chat. All right, top down, get the motherboard out. It's beautiful X870E Tomahawk Wi-Fi. Cooler off to the side. Let's get right into getting our CPU down and in. Pop the top on our socket. Make sure there's no bent pins. No bent pins. Grab this 9800X3D. Drop it down in the tray here. Into our socket, looking good. Latch in place, all set there. All right. Let's get our NVMe drives down and in. First is going to be our primary drive, a 2 terabyte, 2 terabyte Kingston KC3000. There we go. First drive is in. Second drive is going down and in, the 4 terabyte NV3. One of the TI is a nice one. Honestly, that's the card I would get myself right now. The 5070 Ti. You'd be like, Stance, what would you build right now? 7800X3D or 9000X3D, depending on availability and price. Prime day right now, both those CPUs are pretty awesome priced. And 7800X3D is really well priced for the Prime day. 7800X3D, 6000 CL30, even 6000 C26 RAM. CL30 is a little bit more stable, not as hot either. I'd probably go with that route. And then 5070 Ti, that's not bad. That E Pro board is it's okay. Drop a RAM down and in. 64 gigs of 6000 C30. Actually, is it 64 C32 or 6000 C30? I remember what we did on this one. We did 64 C32. Is that right? I grabbed the wrong kit. Let me check chat. 1 second. I did grab the wrong kit. I grabbed the 64 C32, so the 6000 C30. Not much difference because if you look at the Expos, the XMPs, 6000 C30 is one of the kits there, but we're going to drop the right kit on here. Grabbed the wrong kit today. I noticed that when I was looking at it, I'm like, wait a second, because like the packaging is ever so different on these two. I can notice it. There we go. Get the right kit on here. Sheesh. 6000 C30 kit. Top Gaming 5070 Ti looks clean. Yeah, there's some good cards out there. We were liking the pricing of the Zotac and the MSI models. Because honestly, the coolers have been really rock solid for the price. I mean, Asus has been overpricing their GPUs. That's why we haven't seen a lot of them from us. We used to use a lot of dual cards because they're really good value for the price. The dual cooler was actually really good, really well performing. And then Asus just they exploited the tariffs. So we haven't used a lot of Asus cards just for that one reason. MSI, Zotac, some PNY, because the price performance, you can't really beat it. Let's slide this aside. Got everything on our motherboard here. Again, X870E Tomahawk, 9000X3D down in the socket. Our standoffs are good because we'll be using the Montech, which utilizes the factory retention clips here on the AIO. A 2 terabyte Kingston KC3000 drive and a primary NVMe slot 1. A 4 terabyte NV3 from Kingston down our primary NVMe slot 4. And then we have 64 gigs of 6000 CL30 RAM down and in there. So let's slide this aside. Let's get our case out today, guys. That Jonsbo D41 series with the mesh and LCD screen. This looks, so far, it looks a lot like the AP201 from Asus. Looks a lot like the What's the one from Vitru? Vitru makes one. They all make a similar case. This is the screen here. I have to actually assemble the screen. Quiet RGB fans? Fantex M25s, Gen 2s. They're hard to beat for the price. They're probably the best performing RGB fan right now for the price. I see why they don't put it in, because they don't want you to have any damage in transit. It comes with a Type-C power cable, a display cable, screws to hold it in place, the user guide. Okay. We're not going to ship the screen installed, because shipping with the screen installed is just asking for damage. But I'm going to make sure we see here. Just pop this off like that. See, the reason I want to install it and see what it looks like so I can show you guys, but I don't want to leave it installed for the customer, is because of transit. They don't have a polystyrene. They have polystyrene in here. This is polystyrene. So it can brace impacts. The way they have it right now, it's not meant to brace any kind of impact if the screen's out here. So I'll show you what it looks like with the screen here on the case. And the customer can just pop it in place. It literally just pop ribbons to hold it in place. There it is. It's not hard. All right. So we'll leave that there. Here's our screen. Now the screen is now on the front of that so you can see it. We're gonna take the screen off before we send it though. It's literally just a display port. It's a display cable. Let me see where it comes off there, off of the. Where does it even run on here? Oh, it's right here on the inside. 2 cables. Mini HDMI, and then a Type-C. That's it. So it just goes right there, goes through the case, done. And it comes right through here. There's a little hole for it so you can guide it all the way to the back. So, easy peasy. It's a cool thought process. Nice little screen. It's gonna run off the graphics card internally. Take this out, to put fans in the bottom. I'm actually getting rid of the dry bay cage so we can put more fans down here for cooling. 3 fans are more important in this type of case while it's hardware than it is to put a 3.5-inch hard disk drive, especially when you have 6 terabytes of storage. Our motherboard screws out, so we need next. SSD motherboard, there we go, all right. This motherboard all installed. Chat, we're gonna go top down and do that right now. They give you a rear fan. It shows a rear fan on the case, but they don't give you a rear fan. Look at another system integrator. They said like the top selling PCs on Amazon and Newegg were all under $1,000. And they didn't have any even discrete, like literally discrete graphics cards. They're running off like internal graphics, and people are going to be shocked when they realize that the games are going to stink on a system like that. We do offer financing over on our website, so people are looking to buy a more high-end quality PC that's going to last longer. Come over and check that out. We do have it at XMH Financing in our Twitch chat if you guys want to see more information about that as well. We probably should have put this on a B650 Tomahawk board, just because of the PCIe power on the bottom, but we'll be okay. It's going to be tight. All right, we have one more screw up here. I have to go get then I'll show you guys what it looks like here. I have to go get a rear exhaust fan. Yeah, front close-up, as I get ready to put these fans in. These fans in. I'm going to run our power supply before I put the bottom fans in, just because of the PCIe power right here to make it tight. Or I could probably put a slim fan in here, but it won't have much airflow. AJ, do we put a slim fan in? I don't know if I'll be able to run the cables anywhere. There's no way for the cables to run. It has to be the rear mount. So I had some slim fans, but we have to run the rear. There's no pass-through for the cables. All right, just put this fan in the front here. Yeah, I wish you could put it on the front of the case, but you can't. You got to put it behind this mesh. Kind of this, the bottom part here, AJ. It'd be nice if we could mount like a front, like slim fan, you know what I mean? Just to bring some air in, but no, I'm gonna do the rear mount, and it's not gonna be in the way of the power supply. We should have plenty of room for the cables to drop. Got our fans installed. We're gonna run our front panel connections now. Type-C, we have HD audio. Front panel connections, we're gonna run all that right now really quick. Our Type-C, our USB's 3.0 going in first. There we go. Next will be our Type-C. This is the only thing I've seen that's not fun right now, is this Type-C is really close to the case itself. Almost doesn't fit in here, the Type-C. Okay. The fun part is going to be running this power cable down to the motherboard for fast charge. That's going to be a fun one, AJ. This is where I usually go in like a Tomahawk with the need for like X870E would have been a little bit better, but we'll be all right. Should be able to make it fit through there. It's gonna be a tight squeeze at the bottom here. Next, we're gonna run the HD audio cable. And then we should be able to actually fit this through here, AJ. It's just tight with the motherboard. I'm talking about the PCIe in the bottom. All right. I'm gonna put the power supply in next chat before we do the bottom fans, just because this is gonna be the fun part. Now, there's plenty of space here on the back. You can see here to run this PCIe cable through, but the motherboard actually cuts some of that space off. So that's gonna be the fun part, getting this PCIe cable down the bottom. 1000 watt power supply out. We're gonna get our cables out as well. All right, so we do need a PCIe cable, 12 volt high power for a GPU, 24 pin for our main motherboard, EPS 1, EPS 2 for our CPU. The other cables will go in the motherboard or the box or the bag here, along with our power cable. That'll go in the motherboard box to go back to the customer. All right, this is the fun part right here. Running this PCIe cable runs to the motherboard for additional power. I'm gonna have to take some of these out really quick to run this cable. Actually, I almost ran this cable first. It has clearance for it, but it doesn't have the clearance with the board installed. I don't know if that's a Jonsbo issue or just the clearances issue. Like it should have been a little bit higher. Motherboard, literally like a ½ an inch. It would clear the PCIe cable down below. On a flex. Maybe we just take these screws out and we'll be good to go here in a second. Give me 1 second, chat. Take some more screws out. I almost have to take the whole board out just to get this PCIe cable in. I'm gonna completely remove all the screws on the motherboard just to get the PCIe power down in there. That's the only thing I've seen so far that's kind of like that's annoying, but not end of the world. I would say this is the other thing right here is a Type-C. It's really tight against it. All right, let me get this installed down below now. This is our PCIe cable for additional motherboard power. Let me get this installed. We can move on to the bottom fans, and the rest of the power supply, and then the cooler. That's gonna be the fun part, is this. It's almost next to no for the pigtail. Oh, don't you love it? It's super close to the pigtails. I don't know if it's gonna clear. I don't know if the back of the case will clear, AJ, with the pigtails. I don't know if we're gonna be able to fit the additional PCIe power for quick charge in, since they wanted to have this case. Because it does not fit the pigtails on the back, AJ. We'll have to let them know. And does it close? I guess it closes. No, we're good. There's a lot of those like gaps and airflow right there. This is part of the design. It closes. We're able to get it fit. It's gonna be tight around the cables, but we got it. All right. The last I'm just gonna run these fans real quick. I'm gonna move on to the power supply and the bottom fans. System fan header going in there. All right, there we go. Perfect. Get the bottom fans in. Then we're gonna move on to the rest of the power supply. 3 fans on the bottom. We're gonna drop our reverse fans down here on the bottom. Get these installed. Next thing in the queue of things to do. Pop the screen off for a second, chat. I don't want to be resting it on the screen. You guys also want to go over our Twitch channel and check out our YouTube. We've built probably close to over 1,000 PCs on our YouTube. Want to check it out as well? Right. What specs on the PC you're building right now? How pricey is water cooling depends on what you're looking for. We don't do custom loop cooling because of the amount of maintenance, but liquid cooling is not too much more than air cooling right now. Fans are in the bottom, are all zip tied in. All of our lines are zip tied in. All of our RGB is set up. Next, we're going to move on to the power supply. We have 2 screws holding the front power supply in here. All right. We'll work on mounting this power supply, chat. Okay. Fun part begins. Before we put this back in, start running our cables, EPS, GPU, PCIe. All right. 24 pin main. Okay, there we go. Next, we're going to run our EPS. Don't drop it. There we go. CPU 1, CPU 2. Now we start hooking all these cables up to the power supply. I'm going to push these through and over here where it's going to sit. Figure out how everything's going to connect. And then how we can manage the rest of the cables. That's the goal right now. We're doing it over here. All right. Pass these through. Work on getting these connected now. PCIe. Slide this in place. There it is, like so. Get this screwed in now. Get this screwed in, we can work on the rest of our cooler. Yeah, all right. Power supply is now in. Next, we're gonna work on the cooler chats. Put our things back on here. It's gonna be our screen. All right. Also gonna put this fan guide back on the bottom here. It just sits like so. Yeah, it's magnetic. Okay, I thought so. Magnetic, nice. There we go. All right. There are screws, our standoffs, everything we need for this bad boy. The brackets and the screws. All right, the fun part is gonna figure out how this cooler is gonna sit. So, throw our trash away. I don't have to remove the rear fan. Just gotta turn it to a rear mount. The fans are set for a front mount, or like the forward facing on the pump lines. Got a 360 the fans pretty much, or sorry, 180 the fans, not 360. Less stress on the tubes. So the tubes will actually be touching the top of the power supply. I don't like that. All right, pick these fans up. Just rotate, there we go. I'm just getting a quick tension before I screw it on. 1 second, chat. I need to run these wires really quick. Flip it over. Their CPU fan header in. Put over PWM for CPU, or sorry, pump header. Once we have these in, we can run the rad. Give me a second, chat. We don't have a physical store yet. We have a building facility in Pennsylvania. We don't have like a storefront. People can just come in and check things out. That's not what we do. We're pretty much e-commerce based. People can pick up locally though. If you want to like pick up your PC instead of having a chip, you can do that. But we don't have like a physical storefront. Just it'd be a waste of money. We'd have to put a dedicated employee for that, and then we would have to charge more to make up for that different type of a margin. These daisy chain RGB headers are too small to fit in the other daisy chain, so they're shaving the plastic off it. Something people don't really think about that you can do. You just gotta be really careful. All right, now actually we'll go on to the daisy chain. Before we go on the daisy chain, now we will. Boom. All right. Connect that. We got our GPU out next. Beautiful SFF Zotac 5070 Ti. Something small to fit in this case with how we got going on here. So we got a smaller 5070 Ti that still has really good cooler. All right, here we go, chat. What's gonna be right there? You're right there, P-Race, like you talked about. Here we go. Perfect. GPU is in. Where's it here? Then we move on to hooking the monitor up, and then we're gonna get ready to post this system. All right, chat? You're being patient. Okay. Display ports. HDMI, boom. It's pretty tight back here, honestly, chat. There we go. There it is. All right, it's all on. We're done, chat. It's time to put the back panel on and get this bad boy booted up. There's that pigtail, it makes it a little difficult in the back, but we're in. All latched in place. Top's going on. So I push it forward, it pops off. Guys, thanks for coming in and liking another video here on YouTube. Make sure to hit that like button, help us with the algorithm. Make sure people find us and see all the beautiful PCs we build. If you haven't subscribed already, hit that subscribe button as well. Remember, we build these systems live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday over on our Twitch channel at twitch.tv/stints. Come over, hang out, chat it up with us, watch us build beautiful PCs for everybody in the community. And remember, let's go.